Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Technology Tuesday hosted by Out of the Box Technology. We're excited to bring you these free webinars that feature third-party apps, tips and tricks from in and outside of QuickBooks, and hot topics that our industry is encountering. This is our first Technology Tuesday of 2019, and I am so excited that it is going to be all about out of the box technology. I have several of my colleagues on the line with me today, and we're really going to focus on what out-of-the-box technology can offer, who we are, where we've been, where we're going, what we do, all of that. So for those of you who have been joining us for Technology Tuesdays in the last couple of years, this is a little different twist on what we've been doing. Usually we feature other people, a lot of our partners that we're really proud of, or just different cool apps that we've come across. But this year we really want to focus on delivering to you what we do, so that if you do have a need or a pain point that we can solve for you, you know that we can solve it. So again, welcome. We're so excited to have you on the line today. My name is Jennifer. I work in business development and customer relations here at Out of the Box. And my partner in crime, Ellen, is on the line. We're kind of going to be moderating today, just keeping things rolling along. And as we go through, I'll introduce our other teammates that are on the line. If you have any questions that come up as we're going through, you can go ahead and use the GoToWebinar chat function and send those over to us, and we'll answer those either while we're in that specific topic, or we'll save them all to the end and just have a big Q&A. So send in questions as you think of them, and if there's anything that we can answer right away, we'll do that for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and talk about who we are. So you can see a picture here of Andrew Abrams and Lisa McCarthy. They are our co-founders. They're a great team. They've been together for over a decade now, running such a successful company here at Out of the Box Technology, and they have put together an awesome team of consultants. You can see a picture of us here. We had our team retreat last summer in Detroit, so we're there with the spirit of Detroit, and some handiwork of our graphic designer, who you'll meet later today in the session. He added the Out of the Box Technology t-shirt to the spirit of Detroit. If you're not from Detroit, this is a really iconic landmark in our city, and whenever a sports team is in the playoffs or whatnot, they put a jersey on, so we thought it would be really fun to put a Out of the Box Technology shirt on the spirit. So that's our team, and we have grown actually since that picture. We have probably half a dozen at least, would you say, Ellen, new teammates. So I think it's time for another gathering so we can get that picture updated. But that's just a little snapshot of where we are. And so where we've been, Out of the Box Technology is really involved in the industry. We've been featured on Google. This right here you can see is Lisa. She did an interview with Google about our company and where we're going and what solutions we provide. We were named one of Intuit's top 10 best new apps in 2017. Last year, we were featured in CFO Tech Outlook magazine as a top solution for recurring invoices and payments with our product Recur 360. We attend a lot of different conferences. As members of the International Franchise Association, we're very involved with franchises, Service World Expo, QuickBooks Connect, a whole bunch of different conferences that we go to and people that we support across several different industries. So that's really exciting. Now, as far as what we do, so really kind of the focus of today's session, what do we do here at Out of the Box? And it's funny because when I talk to friends, family, people that I'm meeting, they're like, oh, what do you do? I really say, how much time do you have? Because we have so many different offerings here at Out of the Box Technology, from accounting and bookkeeping within QuickBooks to software installation. We have hosting services, of course, our whole team of consultants, and then the whole other side of our company with our development team that does custom apps and website designs. And we've also created our own products, including our event app and Recur 360. And we have a great IT team. So to get started, I am going to introduce you all to Sharon. She's our bookkeeping manager. And Sharon, I'll let you take it away and just talk a little bit about the services that we offer when it comes to bookkeeping for our clients.
Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Actually, today I was going to discuss how we do a bookkeeping assessment for potential new customers. And when we're setting up that assessment, we generally like to do a remote session so that we can review the QuickBooks file. So while we're on the meeting, the first thing we do is we just gather general company information, such as how long they've been in business, what type of industry they are, what is their tax structure, are they a corporation, a S Corp, a partnership, what method of accounting do they use, are they cash basis or do they use accrual basis, are they using a fiscal year or are they using a calendar year? Then we usually dive into the banking and the credit cards. How many bank accounts do they have? How many credit card accounts do they have? And this is when we might normally look at their QuickBooks file to try to figure out how many transactions they have per month. Sometimes we just ask them to provide statements for their credit card and bank accounts because sometimes that's a little bit easier. Then we like to find out when those accounts were last reconciled and do they need us to reconcile those accounts. We like to look to see if the bank accounts are connected or linked with QBO, both QBO and desktop. And if they're not, we'd like to find out how those transactions are getting entered. Then we want to find out, do they need us to enter those transactions? Then we kind of ask about sales tax normally. Are they required to file sales tax? And if so, would they like us to file and pay their sales tax for them? Then we discuss payroll and how do they process their payroll? How often do they run payroll? How many employees do they have? Do they use direct deposit? Are there checks to print? Do they want us to process their payroll for them? Because that is certainly a service that we can offer. Then we discuss accounts payable and accounts receivable. How is that being handled? Do they need us to assist them with that? How are their customer payments being recorded? Because if their bank accounts are linked to QBO or desktop, you need to match up those bank transactions coming into the customers. Then we ask them if they have inventory, and do they need us to adjust their physical inventory for them monthly or quarterly or annually. Then we find out if they have any third-party loans that need reconciled. We ask them about 1099s, how many contractors do they have, do they want us to prepare those 1099s for them. Then we always like to review the balance sheet and the P&L just at a quick glance to see if there's any issues that will need cleaned up on their account. Then we ask them if they're going to want like a financial review each month, or if they just want us to send financial statements each month. And those are just some of the things that we discuss. Most times the session goes into a lot more detail than this. But with this information, we can determine the approximate number of hours it's going to take each month to handle their bookkeeping. Then we discuss how we can access their file. If they're on QBO, they simply just add us as an accountant user. If they're on desktop, we need to figure out how we're going to access the file. They can switch over to our hosting, or we could set up a remote desktop, or just use LogMeIn or something like that. Possibly later in the meeting, they may discuss some other options too, but that's normally how we handle it when somebody is on desktop. And that's all I have, unless there's some questions.
Great, thanks, Sharon.
Yeah, I just want to add here real quick about when people call us for bookkeeping, they just say, well, yeah, I just want somebody to do bookkeeping. But I'm not sure even the small business owner, small to medium size, if they haven't been doing bookkeeping, they don't even know just to what extent and how deep you can go with bookkeeping. It's not just entering, credit card statements or whatever. It's so you have to be really thorough. And I think,
Right.
Sharon, what you showed and what you do, you're very thorough with our bookkeeping clients and really talk to them about, well, you got to remember you got to do this, or you have to do this, and then there's this, and then people are like, whoa, now I kind of get why that's so important. So we just really appreciate it, and I know all of our clients appreciate the thoroughness of you as well as our bookkeepers as well. So we've got a nice way to double check. You can double check the work and that sort of thing. So just really proud of the work that we do in your department.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I would definitely echo that. I know a lot of positive feedback and reviews that we get from our clients are a reflection of Sharon and her team of bookkeepers. I do have a question that just came in for you, Sharon. Beverly is asking, does your staff have experience with QB Desktop Advanced Inventory?
Well, we have consultants on our staff that are very familiar with that. I'm not sure, if any of the bookkeepers do, because that isn't something we've really worked with before, but we do have consultants that do have that access or have that experience. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right, and that's kind of another point about when companies come to us who want bookkeeping. Sometimes we have to clean up their files first, right, Sharon?
Correct.
Yeah, and that's where the we do the cleanup part, which is one part of bookkeeping. And so, Beverly, if you have questions about that, we can have a consultant to help you with that part of it. And once that's all figured out, then we would bring in the bookkeeping team who would do the actual bookkeeping, because they're really separate aspects of.
Well, she's asking about advanced inventory on desktop.
Right. Yeah, and actually,
yes, exactly. But that would be something a consultant could handle first.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the bookkeepers are certainly capable of learning anything like that very quickly because they have a ton of experience. I just don't think we currently have any bookkeeping clients where we're doing that.
As I had mentioned, we just grew our company by a couple of dozen or half a dozen people over the last month or so, and I know that some of those particular individuals do have experience with advanced inventory. So that's a great asset that we can offer for sure. Now, Sharon, you had mentioned, the different ways that you can access the files for the clients that call in or our current clients. And something that I wanted to mention as well was, across our company, we have staff across the country, but not in every state. But something that is really great about how we work is that we don't have to sit in the chair next to you in order to work with you. A lot of the work that we do remotely is extremely beneficial. It saves a lot of time, a lot of travel dollars and whatnot. So I think that's a really great feature that we have for our clients. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sharon. We appreciate you jumping on with us here and kind of explaining the process for bookkeeping. What I'm going to move on to next is software procurement, installation, and integration. So a lot of multi-syllable words there in that topic, but basically we are a premier reseller for Intuit. So any Intuit product we can resell to our clients, our customers at our discounts. So it's something that is really a point of interest for a lot of people, because when you go to buy a new product, a new piece of software, there's a lot of features and add-ons and different versions, and it can be confusing. And so what our consultants do is they really help guide you into the product that is best for you and for your business, not necessarily what's on the goal sheet of a salesperson at a particular company. So that's, a really a really great thing about working with us is that we can not only determine which version is best for you, but then also help you with that installation, training on it. If you're not familiar with the product, sometimes navigating that is kind of like walking through a forest blind and you're just not sure where to go and all of that. So our consultants really can work with you to get you set up and trained properly so that you can go out and be successful. And we're always there for you, just an arm's length away. If you have questions, if you just need a refresher or want us there with you, continuously throughout the year and throughout the years of your business. We have a lot of different partner products that we work with, like T-Sheets and Locate Inventory and Impressian 360, that we've gone through all of their trainings and gotten certified. And so we really are kind of an extension of their teams as well. So if you're working on something and, a pain point comes up about time tracking, we're like, oh my gosh, T-Sheets is exactly where you need to be. And so we'll, make that connection for you. So there's a lot of different products that we work with that just we can help guide you in the right direction to set you up for success.
And Jennifer, if I can just add here real quick about, we are Out of the Box Technology is a QuickBooks solution provider. And they've, over the years, Intuit has changed the name of that particular channel that they have within Intuit, where consulting firms like us, we can be named those if we're, good at what we do, and they have other rating systems. But they're not every. If you're looking for a pro advisor or you're looking for help with QuickBooks, not every one that you go to or look or find on the internet necessarily has such a high ranking as we do within Intuit is a QuickBooks solution provider. So those are some things to look at. I mean, Lisa and Andrew have had years and years and years of working with the software and with so many different businesses, and we have such deep ties with Intuit that we can really get you the help that you need. And just real quick, I want to add that for new people, when we get new leads and new clients, we like to start with what's called a business consultation, which you referred to, Jennifer. It's a great way to start out so we can get to know you, and we can help you kind of figure out there are things you may not even know that you need when you're looking at changing a software, upgrading, going to a third party, but we do. And even how that might affect your whole IT, your whole computer system and your network. But we get it, and we know what you need to be streamlined, to work efficiently. So those business consultations are so important so that we can all get on the same page. You know what you need, and our experts can guide you on the project. So those are super important. And Donna and our sales team, that's one of the first things she does when she talks with new people, is talking about that business consultation, because that's where we just get down and dirty and get you the help that you need.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ellen, for adding that. That is a really important piece of it. So, well, if anyone has any questions about any of that with, getting put into the right software, what our consultation entails, please do chat those over. But in the meantime, I am going to introduce our next staff member who's on the line with us today. This is Josh. He is our hosting manager. So one of the other services that Out of the Box offers is a hosting solution and hosting services. And as much as I try, I know I'm not going to explain it as well as Josh. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Josh. I know you have some stuff you wanted to demo. So I'll go ahead and make you the presenter so that you can take it away.
Okay, sure. Yeah, one of the things you'd heard Sharon mention was another way for people to access your file. So one of the things that we do with that is people either, in most cases, are hosting QuickBooks either on their local computer or on a server where it's being shared out for multiple users. The benefit of moving your file to the hosted desktop environment would be that you no longer have to maintain a server, let's say, or You don't have to worry about keeping QuickBooks up to date on your local computer, as we would be handling everything like that as far as updates on the servers and updates for QuickBooks as well. One of the things that we do as well is when we do move your file over, we can upgrade your files if it's needed as well. What I'm going to do when I'm sharing my screen here is I'm going to show how it would work if we were to work with you and you were going to move your file to the hosted desktop. A lot of time when I speak with clients, they want to see how it works and how it would work for them on their computer. A lot of people do this because they want to either access their file from multiple locations or multiple users from different locations. So what I'll do is just go through a brief if I was to log into your computer. So to get set up on the hosted environment, what you would first do is you would come to our website and you would go to login and you would go to hosted desktop. And here you would be given a alphanumeric username and password that we would assign to you once we've got you set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in with the setup user here. And now once I'm logged in, it redirects us back to the web page. And if I was to go back there again, it will tell me that I have been successfully authenticated. Now, in order to access our hosted desktop, we use remote desktop connection, which is already a part of the Windows operating system. And to get logged in there, I'll enter the server, which is already P19 in this instance. And we, on our hosting, we have the last 3 years. So on our hosting, you could have QuickBooks Pro Premier or Enterprise 2017 through 2019, depending on your license or your subscription for Enterprise. So I'll go ahead and I'll enter this information, and we would do a remote session with you to help you get this set up. And then what we'll do then is connect. Okay, so what that's doing then is that's opening this remote environment here. And if you see, it sort of looks like a Windows 10 environment. What we use is Windows Server 2016. And the way that the server structure is set up, file structure, you have like this PC rather than a C drive, we have a Q drive, and within that Q drive, there would be a folder for your company. And then this folder, there's a shortcut for that folder on your desktop, and this would be available to all users if you were not the only user using QuickBooks. So now that we would be logged into our server, the thing that we can do then is now we need to look at moving the file off of your local computer. So what we would do then is we would go to where your file would be stored on your computer. And I'm going to go to my QuickBooks folder. And then what we would do is we would grab your company file. In most cases, what we do beforehand is we will run a rebuild on your file twice just to get rid of any errors first. And then what we'll do is create a backup, and then we will move that backup into the environment. So what we would do then is as simple as copy and paste. And you can do the copy and paste between environments for all types of files, be it Excel files, Word files, PDFs, and whatnot. So I've copied that file now. I'm going to go back to our hosting environment. And then here is your company folder, and I'm going to paste now that file into your company folder. And now that we've moved that company over, I'm going to go to the Start menu here and launch QuickBooks. We also have a full suite of Office 2016 on our servers available to users as well, in case you would want to configure Outlook to email out of QuickBooks or reports for Excel and things like that. So now I'm going to open QuickBooks on our server. and then you see the test company, and then it would open up, and then your file would now live in that location on our environment. So back now on our local computer here, I could, if wanted to, could go ahead and uninstall QuickBooks if I wanted to, because QuickBooks itself takes up a lot of resources. So you could uninstall that from your local computer if you were moved into our environment. Or on the other hand, if you have a server already, you no longer have to maintain that server as far as that goes. You can also, we don't have any limits as far as right now is moving data. So if you have other data that your company uses, you want shared across for other users, you could do that as well. And then the other thing too is for printing, whatever you have selected. So let's say you want to print reports and whatnot. Whatever I have selected on my local computer here as my default printer, that is what is going to get redirected to the hosted desktop. So if I was to go and print in this environment, you'll see that when I do that, my printer is here listed in the print queue, so I can print to that printer. And then you can also minimize this. You can work between both environments and things like that. And then you can keep this file open, but then, you know, when you're done, what you would want to do is you'd want to close your company. Of course, exit QuickBooks. And then go to our start menu here and sign out.
And hey, Josh, we offer more than most hosting companies do, don't we? Because we offer Windows.
Well, yeah, a lot of hosting companies, for the additional software and things like that, you are going to pay an additional fee for Office. You're going to pay additional fee for storage space and other things like that. For us, it's kind of a one-stop. Everything's included with it.
Right. So it's good to be able to compare apples to apples when you're looking for different hosting companies. Make sure clients should ask the question: do I have to pay more for to use, whatever the different, Microsoft Word and things like that. So, and storage. That's a good point to be able to ask when searching for a hosting company.
Right. And then, like I mentioned before, going forward, then you won't have to worry about updating your QuickBooks or the servers or anything like that. We handle all of those updates after hours when you're not working in your file.
And backup.
And then
too.
the other thing,
this is so great for backup.
Right. And the other thing we offer too, so a lot of people, when it gets close to the end of the year or the beginning of the year, a lot of hosting clients will contact us because their CPAs or accountants need access to their file. And what we do at no cost is a lot of our hosting clients then will send over their CPA's contact information. We will reach out to them, do a remote session like we do with the clients, and get it set up for them as well so they can access it from their computer. So, does anybody have any questions about any of the hosting services? Otherwise, we can move on.
Yeah, I don't see any questions coming through, but that, like Ellen said, it's really helpful. I know I use it, and I think that just having that access remotely, and like you said, you update stuff automatically, and it's like magic almost. So I think that you and your team, Josh, do a really great job with this solution.
And this is, I just want to clarify, because people call us and they say, well, I want QuickBooks. I want to use my QuickBooks online in the cloud. Well, I mean, we try to ask, well, do you use QuickBooks Online, or do you want to use your desktop, Pro, Premier, or Enterprise in the cloud in a hosting environment? So we really try to explain the difference. This is not QuickBooks Online. This is using a desktop version.
Right. A lot of the clients, QuickBooks Online doesn't work for them. They still need a lot of the things that either Pro or Premier or Enterprise offer, but this is a way where they can still work on it remotely.
It's great.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. So moving right along, the next slide I have here is about our consulting services. And again, really a meaty part of our company is our team of consultants and everything that they can offer. So, you go from calling us and you have the business consultation, and through that, which again is such an important conversation to have with us at the get-go of our relationship, then you'll be paired with a consultant that really is just perfect for you. And I have a couple pictures here just so you can kind of put some faces to our team. Again, here's Lisa, our co-founder, and Mary and Dion and Adrian and Connie and Linda. So just several of our team here, not all of them, there's many more, but just to take a look. So what they'll do is they'll help you with the setup of your books and your files. If you're already set up and you need help with cleanup, customizing anything, really they're so great and they're so knowledgeable and they're so patient, which is something that a lot of people say is that they don't come in with, big egos or feeling like they need to rush you through. Like they just really sit down and work with you so well to make sure that your books and your financials are where they need to be. Again, they'll do a lot of training and support for you. Several different accounting services that we do, and Ellen, I don't know if there's anything, probably a million things that I'm missing, but really this team, again, we have teammates all across the country. They can work remotely with you as well if they're not in your specific location, whether it's logging in remotely or just getting on the phone or sending files over or using the hosting services as well to share those files and really get you to where you need to be.
Yeah, and I think Andrew and Lisa have always said that they have always searched for the best consultants, those with the best experience and the most experience, as opposed to just finding people in certain cities. Because we can work remotely. We can be on our hosting. We can work if you have QuickBooks Online. We can be anywhere. So they've really sought out people who are just excellent at what they do, and that's certainly our consulting team. They are awesome, and each have their own area of expertise as well. So that's why we ask the question, well, are you using inventory? What version of QuickBooks are you on? Because we don't want to put you with, if you have QuickBooks Online, have you work with someone who is an expert in enterprise necessarily, because they each have their niche areas, and so we just really want to match up the right consultant with the clients. But they're all awesome. We really proud of the work that they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Ellen and I can say that all day long, but we do have just so many great testimonials from our customers about all of our consultants. Like Ellen said, we don't just, hire to get bums in seats, but we really want to have the best of the best on our team to service our clients in the best way possible. And it shows because so many of our clients are loyal and they stick with us through the years and they refer us out to people. And I just think that it's a great company to be a part of, whether you work for us, work with us, or are a customer, because so many of our clients say that their consultant is like family. You trust them with a lot when you put your business in their hands. And so that's really important to know that you have such a wonderful person on the other side. So just a couple of testimonials here that I just thought I'd share as I keep rambling. So any questions about our consulting services and what we offer there? If you had those, go ahead and chat those through. I don't see any right now, so we'll move forward. But if something pops up, whether it's about hosting or bookkeeping or whatnot, go ahead and send those through because we'll have time at the end for questions. So now I'm going to kind of move over to what I sometimes say is the other side of our business, but it's really not a different side, but is our development team. So these are the amazing guys that we have on our development team that have worked so hard, really behind the scenes, but they make a lot of what we do actually possible. So I'm going to start with Michael. He's our senior software engineer. He's the brains behind a lot of the things that we offer our clients. But primarily I'm going to have him talk right now about custom app development and what we can offer in that area. So Michael, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, everybody. Yep, here at Out of the Box, we have all kinds of experience doing all kinds of custom development, anything from mobile apps to servers to websites to integrations. You name it, we've probably worked in it. So essentially, if you have an idea, you can reach out to us with that idea, very brief summary, and we'll schedule a meeting with you and really work with you, plan out the idea, get it to a point where you're happy with it. And then we'll take that, send it to our graphics guy, and he's going to do a phenomenal job. He'll make wireframes for you. He can help you with logos, naming, marketing, so much more, and really make the idea complete. Then we move to development phase. We'll build out the platform. We'll work with you, show you examples as we go, and give you the completed project. And from that point, that code's yours. You have full rights over it, but we can continue to help you maintain it and do so much more. And not just new ideas even, we build integrations between many different systems, not even just QuickBooks Online and Desktop, but we've worked with Salesforce, various payment processors, and so much more. So if you have your own custom program and you want it to communicate with a third party that has an API we can work with, we can probably connect the two and reach your goals that way as well. And we've had cases where we've done integrations for people in their systems, and they've been so happy with the work, they wanted us to add a new feature to this page or redesign the whole site. So if you have an existing platform, you could even reach out to us, and we can see what experience we have with it. And we're very quick learners. We could probably learn it even if we didn't have too much experience with that particular language or environment, and do so much more. But essentially, we can make it happen. Just send us your ideas. So let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks, Michael. And I think that really, like what you just said, as far as if you have an idea, we can make it happen. Just in my time with Out of the Box, I've been so impressed with what I've heard that you guys are doing as far as, we'll meet a client at a conference and they'll say, oh, I really wish that I had an app that could do, ABC and XYZ and everything in between. And we put them in touch with you and you just are like, you make it happen. You are so creative. You're so talented that really anyone's dream can become a reality. Like, you said, you just talk to them, you figure out what they want, and you fill in those blanks. You guys do such a great job, whether it's an app or a website or an integration or anything. I just think that the creativity behind you and these guys is really excellent. So I applaud you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I wanted to add that I just, wanted to add we had a client recently who got some QuickBooks cleanup done and some bookkeeping. And so we were working on her QuickBooks file and and this is why we did this particular Technology Tuesdays, she said, you guys do apps, mobile apps? Oh my gosh, I've had this idea to do a mobile app for a franchise that I'm thinking about starting. And so she's had meetings and now she's working with the team members now, the apps, we call them the apps guys, even though we have Tanya on the team from California, but we call them the apps guys. And now she's working with them on a mobile app idea. So, just because we work on your QuickBooks, if you have different ideas that affect your business, ask us about them because we probably do something that's associated with that idea you have.
Absolutely. That's so true. And again, it is why we're doing this session today, and we'll have it out there. It's being recorded so that if all you thought we did was bookkeeping, now and we can solve so many other, pain points for you just by asking. So maybe you've started your website on Wix or something, or just something really simple, and you're like, I know this could be taken to the next level, but either I don't have the time, or I don't have the bandwidth, or I just don't know how to do it. Well, that's when you would call us, and I'll transfer, a good little transition point here over to Jonathan. He is our senior graphic and web designer, and he does a fantastic job. I know for me personally, anytime I ask him to develop a graphic or an event that we're sponsoring or a booth backdrop that I need, or even the logo for Technology Tuesdays when I was revamping it, he just takes that and runs with it and comes out with a product that is beyond my wildest dreams. So, Jonathan, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk a little bit about what you do with websites and graphics. I have a couple examples of your work on my next slide, so I'll let you just talk for a little bit, be quiet, and then we'll pick it up. So.
Hi, yeah, thanks, Jennifer. As she was saying, my name's John. I work really closely with the development team, including Michael, who you just heard from. And so we develop a lot of products, and one thing that we do that not a lot of companies pay attention to is we not only develop things, but we actually make sure that they look good when we give them to you too. So I'm kind of the design lead here, and I kind of take the things that we're developing and I make sure that they're up to design standards, and they're something that if it's a product the users are actually going to want to use and it looks nice. And I also help with a lot of marketing things. So a lot of the marketing that you see out of the box, that's something I have a lot of work in. So as to what we can offer you, one of the big things we do is custom websites. So if your website is looking outdated, if you're not performing in Google as well as you think you could, one thing a lot of people don't think about is your website responsive? Is it working on all sorts of devices that we have nowadays? That's something we can help you update and make sure that's up to today's standards and really get it looking good, because a lot of websites, you see them kind of thrown together, but we really want to work closely with you and make it something you're happy with and will perform well. In addition to that, since we work so heavily in QuickBooks, something we can do with that is integrations with QuickBooks. So if there's something you've always wanted, an extra feature in QuickBooks or something that will integrate with your systems in QuickBooks, that's something we can put together for you. In addition to that, any type of marketing help you might need, we can likely handle it. So any type of flyer design, trade show graphics, brochures, any sort of print design you might need for your company, we can help you with. And especially a logo. So if your business hasn't really paid attention much to your overall branding, what we can do is work with you and really get your logo updated, make it something that you're really happy with, because really a logo is one of the first connection points you're going to have with your customers. So you definitely want to make sure that's something that you're proud of and is representing your business and what you want to be putting out there. We also do a lot of animation, video, motion graphics. So I think to better explain this, let's just move ahead to the next slide. Jennifer is going to go ahead and play an example of something that I put together for Out of the Box. We did an animation that was playing at a conference we were at, and this was on a loop on TV screens, so people would see this as they're walking by. So something we can offer you is animated videos if you have anything you want to advertise. If it's just your business, we can put something together for you. If it's a product you're trying to sell, we can make an explainer video that will simplify what your product does in a really easy and engaging way for your customers. So what's playing right now is what was playing on those TV screens. Just something that is a really good overview of what Out of the Box does, some of the things we do, and it's just put together in a nice, simple, I think it's about 1 minute long, and it's just looping through that. So as people are walking by, they're seeing this and it's kind of catching their eye. So that's something we can help you with, again, in terms of marketing. Any sort of campaign you might want to put together, we can help you design and get that off the ground and running.
Absolutely. And I think, short videos like that, I know, Jonathan, you've done longer ones. You could do a shorter one. They're great for, like you said, just rolling through during an event. If you have a booth and you just want a little screen in your booth to show something on a loop, I just think that those that you do are so beneficial to promoting your brand. And all the little things. It's a very simple video, but there's a lot of really incredible aspects to it, the way that you designed it and used different features. So I think that that's an awesome talent that our team has, that we can offer our clients. So that didn't have any sound. Again, it was looping through a conference. So in a conference hall, there's really not a need for sound. But something else that you do is you can edit videos, whether it's a raw video or, sometimes you edit my Tech Tuesdays for me, just to pretty those up, I guess, is what I always say to you. But so Lisa, our co-founder, she did a presentation at an event earlier, not this year because we're in 2019, but in 2018, and we wanted to break it up into smaller clips. And so Jonathan was able to take this, almost hour-long presentation and break it up into chunks, and just add some graphics to it. So I'm going to share that, so you all can see that. It just started as raw video. He added this in, just to make it a little nicer for people to watch. And I noticed that you couldn't see the PowerPoint. So Jonathan went ahead and focused in on that PowerPoint, but then you can still see Lisa down here. So even with raw video like that, Jonathan does a really excellent job. So another solution that we can provide for people that's really out of the box. It's not to do with bookkeeping or consulting, but every company needs to market themselves as well. So it kind of is along the lines. So anything else, Jonathan, that you want to talk about?
I don't think anything more to add. I think really just like I was saying, anything marketing related, we can definitely help you with. If you don't have maybe like an internal marketing design team, that's something we can definitely lend a hand with.
For sure. Thank you so much. So next I'm going to introduce Barb Fiddler. I'm sorry, just kidding. I was looking ahead. Our event app. And Michael, feel free to jump in on this too as I'm talking. Our event app is a product that our development team put together. It's a multi-conference event app. So coming from the events industry myself, I know I've used a bunch of different apps, and this one by far, not to be biased, but is really excellent because it does house multiple conferences. When I used to be an event planner, we'd always have to download a new app every time we had an event, and you lost data from previous events, and attendees really did like to look back. So this is a multi-conference platform. It has an integrated registration system, a whole calendar of events with speakers that go to their bios, that link to their sessions. They can upload documents so that people can have a digital takeaway from their sessions. A lot of sponsorship opportunities within the app. There's a photo gallery where people who are at the event, they can take pictures and post them up so that people can see. You can, send messages to different attendees so that you guys can meet up somewhere, network, hook it up to your social media, all sorts of different applications with this. And you can use it to the full extent or just a couple of the features, really customize it to what you're doing. Several of our franchise clients have used it. Tutor Doctor, like I said, we did that video for that conference, and they used the app for that conference as well. The Franchise Unconference and Springboard, they use that app, and those attendees absolutely love it. I mean, it has literally everything at your fingertips. I think paper programs are really going by the wayside nowadays, and everyone's carrying their phone anyways. And so to have that app right there, to be able to register right there, event organizers can really manage all of the data on the back end, either on the app or through their admin page online. So it's just really a great app for for events. We even used it when we had our team retreat. So you don't have to be hosting a huge, thousands of people conference. We had, our 37 employees coming to Michigan, and we used the app so that people knew, when we're doing lunch and when we were having a speaker, and everyone could share their pictures. So there's really so many uses on such a broad spectrum. Again, I just applaud our development team for the work that they do and making it unique to each and every client who wants to use it. So anything I'm missing, Michael or Jonathan, on that?
That about covers it. That's really good.
Cool. All right. So now, before I got ahead of myself, I'm going to introduce Barb. She really is an expert on Recur 360. And before I fully give you the reins, Barb, I again wanted to just call out Michael, because he really is everything behind the development of Recur 360. He did an excellent job creating this essentially from the ground up, I believe. And listening to customers as they're using it and saying, oh, I wish it could do this. Well, Michael takes that and he makes it happen. So it's really awesome, a really awesome product, and always evolving. But Barb, I'm going to hand it over to you to just kind of give us an overview of what it is, what it does, and everything about it. So go ahead, Barb.
Okay, great. And Jennifer, if you don't mind, I'd like to go ahead and share my screen so everybody can kind of get a look at what Recur 360 does.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Great. And while she's doing that, as Jennifer mentioned, we developed Recur 360 for our customers who were needing a solution in their QuickBooks, be able to process recurring ACH transactions into their QuickBooks desktop file. They were having a challenge with being able to do that and sending a link to their customers to be able to pay online. So we wrote Recur 360 originally, and it's really evolved into 3 different areas. It'll help you out with recurring invoicing and being able to generate an invoice for you on a regular schedule. We do work with both QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online for Recur 360, so we can connect to either. And also, you see my Recur 360 session here has both accounts connected to it. So you have the ability with one login to connect to multiple company files. I'm connected to one QuickBooks Desktop file here called OOTB, and another one for online called Sandbox Company. I choose whichever company I'm going to go ahead and connect to here. So all I have to do that is move my menu out of the way, click the login button over here, and I see my Recur 360 screen. Now, as I was mentioning, we do 3 different areas. Recurring invoices, to be able to generate an invoice on a certain schedule. This one creates on the first day of every month, on annually every January 1st, on the 15th of the month, or I can do one every 3 months. A lot of flexibility there. The second area is a recurring payments option. Let's say you internally finance things for your customers. They make a large purchase and they want to be able to pay off this $12,000 invoice on a payment plan. Recur 360 can automate that process for you and automatically process $200 every month for the 12-month payment plan that this customer has with you. You don't have to do anything then moving forward. Every whatever day, the first day of the month, this will process the $200 payment against that particular invoice and stop when that invoice is paid in full automatically. And then the third area is our collection center. The collection center gives you the opportunity to manage your open accounts receivable. When you connect Recur 360 to your QuickBooks file, we're going to bring in your current customer list and all your past invoices and any open invoices that that customer has. So right here is all my open AR from my QuickBooks file. I can simply, with a couple of clicks, say I want to select all the open invoices here, pick the send email button.
Hey, Barb.
Yes?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you again. Your screen might be frozen because I'm still just seeing your Recur 360 accounts and then the OTB and Sandbox, like the dashboard. I don't know if you're digging deeper in.
I was, sorry.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yep,
yeah,
I see send email. Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So I'll back up a second here too, but we'll get into this screen here as I was mentioning. When you go to our collection center, you see the entire list of every customer that has open invoices here. I click this select all open invoices button, which is going to pick every open invoice. And then one button, click the send email button. And that's going to send an email with an overdue notice to all of these customers. I can send it once immediately, or I can schedule it for later to be sent either on a specific date, or the my favorite button, the send it every so many days. So this is going to repeat the same email every 2 days or every 3 days or every day, beginning one day after the invoice due date until that customer pays it. And again, now that process is automated and I don't have to do anything else. That customer is going to continue to get a copy of this invoice emailed to them until they pay it. So my Fiddler Consulting Company, I can see in his user profile all the activity that has happened with him. Here's his open invoices and his past invoices with me. I can tell that this one is still open and due. If I go look at all of them, I can see the status of those as well.
Barb, I think it's,
yes.
All we see is the send email. You must, how many screens do you have?
It stopped.
All we can see. There we go.
It keeps pausing my screen. Forgive me, guys. I'll keep that open so now I can monitor if I'm showing you live or pausing for some reason. Okay. So the Fiddler Consulting customer that I was talking about that we sent that email to and we scheduled, I can see the list here of everything that has happened with him. So here's his email history, all the emails that Recur 360 has generated and sent to him. I can see on the 12th, I sent him an email that was supposed to happen every 5 days, and a user canceled that. I can also see the status of those emails, whether he has opened that email and whether he's clicked on the Pay Online link inside of that email. So if I choose to see that, I can see the date that he clicked on that. Because when Recur 360 sends an email to a customer, they get a copy of the invoice itself, and they also get a Pay Online link. So the email that comes to them looks something similar to, if I can open it, the email that you see here. So it comes from my OOTB testing customer. It has your logo in it, and it's able to be personalized. I see the detail of the invoice items that were included, the total of that invoice amount, and then the Pay Online link. And if the customer clicks that Pay Online link, that's what tracks into that email history there for you. When they click it, they're taken to a web page that is specific to them. So they can only see invoices that are unpaid on their own account.
Barb?
They can choose to pay one of them.
I don't know if you're frozen.
I see, I stopped.
Okay, cool.
Okay, apparently when it switches screens, it stops. So the click that the customer clicked on shows his invoices. He can see all of the open ones here, and he can pay one of them or multiples or parts of one of them. So if he can't afford to pay this whole invoice, he can pay only $100 towards it if he'd like to. This will confirm to him how much he's going to be paying on those 2 invoices, and he enters his payment information. Depending upon what I've allowed, I can set up that customer to only be able to enter credit cards or only be able to use ACH processing. So you have control over whether this customer pays with what payment method. And you also have the ability on the back end in the Recur 360 side to connect those to different types of processors. A great example of that is as a QuickBooks Online customer, you're able to get free ACH processing through Intuit. So you could take advantage in your setup of the payments and be able to connect to Intuit for ACH processing, but then take advantage of a lower credit card rate with a different kind of processor. So you could set your settings then to be able to say that you're going to process credit card payments through Intuit but maybe I want to process my ACH through a different processor that I would connect. So it gives you a lot more flexibility in providing payment forms to your customers. And another great feature that we have, since we are keeping that customer's credit card information, the customer can store it with you and be able to use it for future transactions. You will always be able to go to edit the customer record and see that information here. I can store multiple payment forms. Right now, this particular customer only has one card saved with me. It's a Visa ending in 1111. I can add another payment method, and he can have an ACH on file and a MasterCard on file. And then from my collection center, I can process a payment to any one of those. So if I were to choose process payment here for Rick Humphreys, I can see that he doesn't have anything with me. So let's go do my Fiddler Consulting Company there. If I process a payment for them, I'm able to pick what payment form they have right there. So there's my different card types with them. Also in line with that, because we process recurring invoices with that, we have an email notification of expiring cards. So customers that have a payment form stored with you, you can set the system to automatically notify them a certain number of days in advance that that card is getting ready to expire and they need to update that information. Again, that way you don't have to worry about, is that card still up to date? Is it going to process next month? So we kind of try to automate a lot of that process for you. And I know I kind of covered a whole demo in 5 minutes there, but I wanted to show you some of the basic features of what Recur 360 can do for you to try and automate your invoicing and payments and collections options. Any questions in that?
I don't think so. There's a lot of people watching who are just saying like how great this app looks. And so I just wanted to mention that we have done, Barb has done for us a couple different Technology Tuesdays in the past, diving much deeper into all these features of Recur 360. So definitely check those out. And then we have a couple more on the schedule coming up this year. So if you want more information on Recur 360, either email us and we can set up a one-on-one consultation, or just check out some of those previous Tech Tuesdays to get some more information. So thank you so much, Barb, for that explanation. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I am going to take it back from you and share my screen again. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, Recur 360 was featured in CFO Tech Outlook magazine as the top billing and invoicing solution provider last year. So we had a really nice article written on us, again, just going through how the inception of Recur 360 came about and the whole process of it, and then where we are today. So it's really an exciting product that we have. And the last area that I want to talk about, last but certainly not least, is our IT services. So we have our Director of IT, Chad, on the line. And Chad's going to talk a little bit about what we offer in the IT world from many different aspects. So Chad, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, sounds great.
Okay, good. Yeah, so just as a quick overview, typically most of the IT services that my team offers are in a non-hosted environment, meaning that it's anything that's being done locally at your facility. Most times it'll start with a consulting call. We'll go over all your technology, anywhere from software that you use, dealing with security, what integrations you're using with QuickBooks for inventory or whatnot. And then if you are using QuickBooks, and then we usually typically go down the line of looking at your hardware, making sure you're on the latest version of Windows, whether that being 2012, 2016 server or Windows 10 on your computer side. We're constantly pushing to be on the latest and greatest in technology. We want to make sure everybody is up to par. the best way I can always explain our IT services is that we're not like your typical Best Buy if you're going to the Geek Squad type IT. We're more of a boutique of sorts. We kind of go in, take your current technology, and see how we can make that better or improve it. If there are some areas where we feel like we may need to, swap a computer out or purchase a new server, or even not use a server at all, because there's a lot of great cloud technologies that are being offered today with like Dropbox. You can host a lot of your data through a company for shared documents through Dropbox. You could use us for our hosting services for QuickBooks, or you could host your QuickBooks on a single workstation, and then you can use a program like Qbox to sync your data that you can use it remotely. Data migrations, typically we can do like a good example is Office 365. So if today, if you're using email with Google, or you're using any other pop mail service using some type of cPanel, we can move you over to Office 365 by either doing a PST migration, which just takes an image file copy of your email, and we'll export that out, import it into Office 365. Office 365 will sync that email in, and then we can remote into your workstations if you're remotely, or if you're local, we can always come on site in the Milwaukee area and complete any kind of migrations for email there as well. Other data migrations would involve QuickBooks. If you're coming off, say, I don't even know if it's still a thing, but like Peachtree or something like that, we can migrate you over to QuickBooks and start you up with a QuickBooks file. And then also doing any upgrades. So this time of year, on the IT side, we'll spend a lot of time moving some folks off of, or their companies off of, an older version of QuickBooks. If it's no longer supported, we'll put you on the latest version. So right now it'd be QuickBooks 2019. We would schedule that out. I can either remote in or come on site if you're local, and then upgrade you to the latest version. A lot of our IT isn't singular to just being local. I do a lot of work these days remotely. We use a program called Log Me and Rescue. Simply have you go to our website, click on the support tab, and then I'll give you a 6-digit code, and then I have access to the desktop on a temporary basis. And then I can go in and check out, how your computer's running, set up any upgrades, install any software, set up any integrations, schedule, plan out, look at, consult over anything that's going on remotely with your infrastructure. I'm trying to think if there's really any other major things to cover on that. Well, and like I said, usually everything starts with a consulting call, and I'm usually 90% on most of those. And then we just kind of plan out. We'll put together an outline of what type of technologies we think you need, and whether agreed or not, we go ahead and implement. And that's pretty much it on the IT services in a nutshell. We do also offer managed services, meaning that if you decide that you want a long-term IT person managing all your devices, that includes mobile, tablets, computers, servers, you name it, as long as it's part of your current setup, we will monthly manage that, doing updates, set up email, all that within a monthly managed service contract. So if you guys like that or interested, feel free to schedule for a call with our sales staff, and we'd certainly love to start a consult.
I just want to add here real quick that, Chad, I think people don't understand just how integral their network is to making sure that their QuickBooks is running efficiently. They just think they can install it and it's okay, it's good, but the two really work very closely, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, so the world of QuickBooks and IT is very tight because as technology grows, older versions of QuickBooks typically don't seem to work well inside a newer workstation. That in itself, if you're even on an older computer with newer versions of QuickBooks on the vice versa side of it, because QuickBooks works pretty closely with Microsoft on the Windows side. Anytime a new version of QuickBooks come out, if you're still running Windows 7 or Windows Server 2008 server, you can't even install it on that today. So it's important to stay up to date on your workstations anytime you're planning on doing an upgrade, especially if you do attempt to do so, because even if you are successful in installing it, QuickBooks may not always work very well. It could work pretty poorly, making your life a little harder as the end user using QuickBooks. We see it all the time. 90% of our calls will come in saying, hey, I just upgraded and this thing just works terrible. We'll start looking over their infrastructure. We'll see they'll be on an older switch, older router. Network devices need upgraded. They have computers scattered between Windows 7 and 10. So some are new, some are old. And that's when we start going to work and implementing new technologies to make it better. And that's usually always the result. And once we get all that stuff upgraded and working properly, QuickBooks normally works like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, we often see it, or you guys see it, when they come out with new versions. When Intuit comes out with new versions of QuickBooks, Chad, you see it in its environment.
September 1, exactly.
Yeah. And so you can see what the glitches are right firsthand, Barbie, before even Intuit even hears about it. I mean, you're working with it. And so we really, if we say that you should upgrade to something because we've seen the software work better in a different environment, you should upgrade. Even though
every August we create a virtual environment. We'll install the latest version, whatever that version is. It's getting ready to hit out on mainstream. We'll test it out in our test environment, see how well it works, see what the kinks are. If we're comfortable with what we see in our testing, we'll start recommending that version. If we see a lot of issues with it, we'll tell our clients to wait.
Right, which I think is so, people don't know that's what we do. So kudos to you guys to make sure that it's working well before we recommend it. So it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And another thing that I love, and I know our clients really love about you, Chad, and all of you guys over there, is just your honesty. Like you said, if it's not working well, we're going to tell you. We're going to advise you, what's best for you. And we're not going to sugarcoat things and, just try to get the sale kind of thing. I love that you are very upfront and honest in all the work that you do. So that's really commendable.
Thank you.
All right, so that really is the last focus of today's All About Out-of-the-Box Technology presentation. So there was a lot of questions that came in throughout the session. If anyone has any lingering questions, I'd love to take those right now. I know we've gone over an hour, but I think this was a really great session and a lot of information came through. So I appreciate all of the staff that was on with us today. That led their expertise, took time out of your busy day. I know January is such a busy month for us. But I thought this was a great way to kick off the new year, to talk about what we do. So I don't see any other questions coming through. So with that, I would like to thank everyone again for joining us today. Thank you to the Out of the Box staff for coming on, and everyone who is watching live. Again, this is recorded and will be posted to the Out of the Box Technology blog site. You'll get an email in a couple of hours with a link to that. So if you wanted to watch it back, if you wanted to share it, it will live on, you can watch on demand. So thank you so much. Another thing just to point out is a list of our upcoming webinars. We will be showcasing a deeper dive with all of our products and services throughout 2019, starting with our event app. In just a couple of weeks here, we'll have Nick online with us as well as myself, and just really going through the ins and outs of our event app and the solutions it can provide. And then some of our partners like Avalara and T-Sheets. And then again, like I said, just really diving into who we are and what we do, Recur 360, hosting, websites, and all of that. So take a look at our schedule. All of these are completely free, so we'd love to have you on as many as you can join. And again, they're all recorded as well, so you can watch those back and get all the resources there. So thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions, if you need more information on anything, or if you have a topic that you would like to see on Technology Tuesdays, please reach out to me at jennifer@otbtechnology.com or visit our website. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.